Greetings, y'all. What's up? This is Fear None. I'm the president, founder, and only member of the Universal Intelligence Agency, and that's a one-man organization. And I've been doing what I've been doing for 20 something years right now. A long time since I was 22. I'm 26 now. So, I mean 46. So it's been a while. Anyway, my intention, my ambition, my will is to help contribute to the making of a better world by bringing my brothers and sisters in humanity closer together so that we could stop this pervasive evil that has so effectively dominated this world. I intend to do this by the use of the benefit of knowledge, because knowledge is power. Knowledge is what gives you the power to say be and it is. So if you have no knowledge, you literally have no power or very little of it. If you want to manifest your will into existence the way it is set up now, you literally have to depend on someone else to manifest your will for you. And in case you don't know, your will is not going to manifest on its own. Your car is not going to fix itself. Someone has to know how to find out what the problem is, and someone has to know what could be done to solve the problem, whatever it is. If there's a part needed for the vehicle, that person first needs to know how to identify that part and how to uninstall it, where to get a new one, and how to replace that part. And last but not least, that person must possess the skill to complete this task effectively. Any person not knowing how to do any or all of these things himself literally has to depend on someone with this type of knowledge and skill to do these things for them. They call this type of person who fixes things a mechanic. That person who fixes things is studied and learned in all the individual components of the vehicles they service. If something goes wrong, they could fix it. Chances are they'll fix it for you, but for a price, almost always for a price. You have to pay that individual for his or her expertise. And since you lack the knowledge and the skill, and you know nothing about fixing cars, you have to depend upon the good nature, skill, and work ethic of your mechanic if you expect your vehicle to be serviced properly and working properly. You have to give away some of your power, in other words, your money, because your money represents your ability to manifest your will in the world we live in. If you can't do it yourself, how else would you manifest your will but to pay someone else who's able to do it to do it? It is what validates you as a person, and you could say what you want, you could think what you want, but you ain't shit without money, and no one would ever want to deal with you without it. How many other things in life do you not know how to do that you have to depend upon others to do for you, that you have to pay for, that you can't do for yourself? Remember, you have to earn a living, and you can only earn but so much because you got other shit to do in life, you know? So you got to pay people to do a lot of that other shit too. The amount of money you acquire in this lifetime directly influences who and what you are going to be in this existence. And in case you don't know, this is what this whole experience is all about: personal power. Personal power that could lead to collective power if we're all exercising our own personal power, and together we form a particular direction that we want to go, and then we achieve that goal. That's called collective power. Anyway, the power to manifest our collective will. The very nature of this fact, the fact that world society on a whole lack individual power, contributes to the manifestation of a social condition known as inequality into existence. Some of you have nothing, are nothing, and will never be anything, and neither will your descendants. Why? Because you let it be that way. You recognized on some level that it is, and you never tried to change it. And because to some people this is a game. This is what they turned our world into, a game, like The Sims, or those games on Facebook where you get to be a king of some sort. In this game, you get to build whole societies and manipulate characters on a whim. You get to sit back and observe all that is going on in society at the same time, and then change society into whatever it is you like or desire it to be, a truly godlike quality, and literally manipulate society into whatever you want it to be. For example, you want to acquire more land? Well, you could, but the only way to get more is to take it, and for that you need an army. You need to feed an army, so you have to have a farm. I could elaborate further on the subject, but it's really not that important. My point is, our lives are being controlled by people who do not have anything better to do than to manipulate our lives like those highly interactive computer games I just described. They cause wars, famines, droughts, spread disease, create scarcity, spread division, cause enmity, and it's all on a whim. I mean, it's all a game to them. They're drunk on power. The social engineers of our planet literally feed off of our ignorance. I mean, they literally feed on it. We are their food source, and that is why they have so much time to play. So maybe, just maybe, someone should have told them that they should have taken this game a little bit more seriously. Humanity, or should I say, the children of the Most High, we coming back, and someone should have told them not to play with their food. The time has come for us to turn the tables on our oppressors. For those who thought that they were the hunters, to either cease or desist with their carrying out of their plans that they have for humanity, or face the very real possibility of becoming the hunted themselves. I know I, for one, am not playing fair all the time. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you come in with, you want to use the legal process, let's do that and see who went out. You know what I'm saying? If you want to use raw, naked aggression and whatever, well, I'm dealing with that too, just so you know. Or face the very real possibility of becoming the hunted themselves. What does it feel like to become the hunted? This is a feeling that many hunters have yet to have ever felt, because if they had, perhaps they would never hunt, for fun at least. The title of this current production is How to Start an Honest Revolution and Rebuild Our World at the Same Time, Part 9. In parts 1 through 8, in a series that I've had before that, which is called Fear None 1 through 12, I have exhaustively detailed what I feel are the facts pertaining to the root causes of the problems facing the inhabitants of the world we live in. This beautiful planet that literally suckles us all from birth is being overrun by a pervasive evil that threatens to ruin all of humanity and the planet herself. I have done the best that I could as far as I could in that regard to expose the plan. I am now in the next phase of showing everyone how to start an honest revolution and rebuilding our world at the same time. Stage 1 is all about consciousness. How conscious are you? Some of you say that you are conscious, but conscious of what? Most of you don't even know that you do not know. And how do I know? Because I was there at one point. When I first started out as a revolutionary many years ago, I thought that I had a firm understanding of what the real problems are in the world. Boy, was I wrong. I couldn't have been more wrong. Unlike others that I know with a stated mission like mine, when I discovered just how wrong I had been all along, I developed the courage to completely be myself and release myself from the mental and spiritual bondage that has so effectively kept myself and my brothers and sisters enslaved to the ways of this prison planet. I set out to do it, and I've done it. I have successfully overcome the attempts of all those who are in power, who would have loved to be able to program my mind as they have done with so many others, so that, like the many others spoken of, I would have immediately fallen in line with whatever plans that they may have for humanity that was conceived of by them or authorized for implementation while sitting in a boardroom. And I'm not cut from that type of cloth. I'm not a follower. I never have been, never will be. You know what I'm saying? Not in this lifetime, nor in any other that I can imagine. For those of you that have been following my productions, especially my last two, what did you think about them? I went pretty far, didn't I? I said that I am the rightful ruler of the earth by extension of the fact that I am a black man, and that if it is truly indisputable that the black man is the original man, and that all of mankind comes from man, who is the black man, and if the Bible is correct in saying that the first man was given dominion over the entire earth and all of its inhabitants, then certainly all of the original man's offspring would also inherit those powers. As the obvious offspring of who is clearly described as being the original man, the black man, the power of the earth conceivably had been handed down to me and others who look like me according to that knowledge, right? Well, in a way, yes, and in a way, no. This is how I now see it. Let me explain. and remember, my philosophies are constantly evolving, but they still ride on. Control of the planet was given to the original black man because no one else was on the planet at the time. Now, could we all agree on that? I know a lot of us can't, but if we could, then we could move on. Because like I said earlier, all of humanity comes from the Africans. Therefore, we're all African. You feeling me? Yeah. Even those Khazarian Jews of Europe that has taken over the planet. Yeah, I see them as family to me, but they don't act right, so I cannot deal with them. And do not think that I love you and I represent you automatically because you black, because I feel enmity towards all devils. I know that these statements would anger any so-called conscious person of African heritage, of the conventional school of conscious schooling. You know, you believe or maybe want to believe that these people are not human and they are a race of reptiles that have been mixed with the human race. Well, that remains to be seen with me. You know, for the meantime, I see things a different way. But what about you? You know, what's wrong with you? Because y'all make poor decisions too that affect people too. And I'm talking about people of every race. So everybody want to point their finger and say, oh, this is the reason why. But what have they done to make the planet a better place? I just want everyone to know that I am not an apologist for the white race. And if there were a chance in my mind that any of that shit that I hear people say about white people were true, then that's what I would be representing right now. But I don't believe it at all. I don't believe it about the shit that they say about Mexicans and Haitians equally, or the shit that they say about Yankees or Jamaicans, or this all bullshit. People trying to lump people into one category with a big broad brush. You know, I see the divinity in all people and in all things. Even the evil manifestations are beautiful to behold from my perspective, because my Father made it all, and I know that everything in this world exists for a reason. And there's only one race in the earth among humans, the way I see it. It's just different variations of it. I ain't gonna lie. White people fucked up the whole place, but not all of them. I cannot and will not use a broad brush to classify any group of people as being one way or another. It's not fair. Use your head. Learn to read between the lines. Take ego out of the equations and learn to see things as they actually are, or as they actually were. Then make your judgments. Although there are many types of dogs, there's only one race of dog, isn't it? What about cats, sheep, and fish? Why do they call them these things? Because that is what they are, aren't they? You might say, well, that's a white sheep or that's a black sheep. And when we do that, what are we talking about really? We're talking about sheep, right? So what does it really matter what the color of the sheep is unless you want a different type of wool from it? So to me, when we're talking about humans, we're talking about the same type of situation. We are all precious and we are all divine. The Most High loves us all. So to continue talking about how the black man was given dominion over the earth and how that power was passed down to his offspring, I neglected to mention one thing. The white man and all other men are his offspring too. So we were all given the keys to the kingdom. We all inherited it. The problem is that you cannot claim your rightful place in the kingdom unless you know who you are. You cannot claim to be of royalty while you are not able to tell anyone by whose authority you can lay claim to such a disposition. Even if it is only by your own stated authority. Could you articulate these sentiments properly to anyone who challenges you? Are you willing to go through hell and high water to defend this claim, whatever it is? The people who have ruled us and our ancestors before us, and I speak of all of humanity, would like to continue to maintain control over us. This could only continue to happen if we allow it to. Otherwise, they are powerless against us. The people who have ruled the planet have kept us divided using a multiplicity of cleverly concocted schemes. They set brother against sister and one against the other. They have established rulership by the use of such things as language, skin color, religion, education, money, philosophy, and geographical boundaries, among other things, to divide us. The time has come for us to see things as they really are. That time has come. We no longer have any excuse as to why we should allow ourselves to be continually manipulated by people who aren't any more inherently intelligent than we all collectively are. We could think our way out of this. So when I talk about consciousness, I'm talking about knowing it all. I mean comprehending everything about everything that you possibly could. I mean looking at things from all angles while leaving ego out of the equation. Ego, again, should not be a part of the equation. If you've been listening to me carefully up until this point in this production, you might have noticed that I've given each and every philosophy that I've uttered up until this point, thus far, a great deal of thought. The truth is that I have. Just in case anyone has any confusion as to what my goals are, primarily and ultimately and unapologetically, it is outrightly to take over this world, to wrest power from the few individuals who cooperatively run this planet in order to place it in the hands of the people who should rightfully possess and wield any power that there is to be wielded. And in case there's any confusion as to who those people are, it is you, whoever you are. I want you to be able to know who you are and the power that you possess so that you could wield it. I want you to know how special you are. We could cooperatively and individually rule ourselves. This system could not exist the way it does without our participation and cooperation. And with that being said, if it makes any sense to you at all, and if what I am saying has any truth to it at all, we could righteously conclude that there is a possibility that we could end the wicked practices that are being perpetrated against each and every one of us and by those who run the respective systems of the government that we are all affected, controlled, and ruled by throughout the world. Along with consciousness, you have to become fearless. Only the Most High deserves to be feared, no one else. So get rid of fear. It's all in your mind. Release yourselves from the mental shackles that enslave you. Do you know who you are? You are the son or daughter of the Most High. More than a monkey, more than a dog. According to Scripture, you have been set above the angels. They were commanded to bow down before and serve humankind. Some did, some refused. Some might wonder how that could be, but I'm here to tell you that the Creator is wise. There are certain things that you are just not going to get right now until the Creator reveals those things to you. And until you develop enough spiritually to receive an answer to your question that you would accept. Until that happens, be advised that this is the nature of our problem. Think of it like this. You are a prince or a princess. Your father rules all the land that you could see far and beyond. In fact, it is said that your father owns it all. This literally, quite naturally, makes you an heir to his kingdom. Now, let's say that somehow, while you were young, by whatever means, you get separated from your father. You're still a prince, right? Sure you are. You just don't feel like it because everywhere you go, people that know you treat you like shit. Even though they know that you're a prince and that your father owns it all and that you are his heir, they will never begin to treat you like one until you begin to act like one. You know what I'm saying? The people that rule you know that you are, and they will never treat you like the prince or princess that you are until you begin to acknowledge and act like one. There are clues about what I am saying to you all over. They'd like rub it in your face. Cinderella, Lion King, Shrek, here it is. Here's the answer to your problem. Claim your inheritance, stupid. Claim it. You know what I'm saying? Simba was separated. In The Lion King, Simba was separated from his father. He was the future king, but he did not know how to be king. He was separated from his fellow lions before he could get enough of a self-identity to come back and claim what was rightfully his. His uncle Scar thought that he was heir, knew that he was heir to the throne, but failed to let poor Simba know because Scar wanted to be heir to the throne. He just had to get Simba out the way. Scar wanted to be king. To Uncle Scar, Simba was a child who could be easily controlled, and he knew that he couldn't just murder his nephew because he would secure his own demise in the process. So he cleverly misguided Simba and forced him to forsake his own inheritance and shuck his responsibilities to the pride. And when Simba returned to the pride, years later, he was able to look at the situation with older, more experienced eyes that were now made to see things more clearly, as assisted by the benefit of experience and discernment. He could see what Scar was up to all along in an instant. Pow! You know? Scar had stolen his inheritance and had no intention whatsoever on giving it back. And this is what the people of the world has been going through forever. In that instant, the moment Simba realized the truth about what happened, all sorts of things may have gone through his mind. For instance, he could have allowed himself to become overridden with fear and guilt. Will the pride accept me? Quite naturally, everyone would want to know where he'd been all this time while his pride was suffering. He couldn't just straight out tell them that he'd been in the forest eating nuts and berries and bugs and shit with his friends now, could he? Or he could have let his realization of what happened get him so angry that it could cloud his judgment, causing him to do something that would put himself in harm's way unnecessarily. See, you need to think when you're in those situations and kind of revel in that moment and use that anger to fuel you in a positive way to overcome. Anyway, you see, there's a right way to do everything and a wrong way. Simba's pride was suffering. Sorry about that. My daughter. Hey baby, what's up? Call me back in a minute. I'm doing something. Okay, good. Bye. Yeah, anyway, Simba's pride was suffering, and Simba's pride was suffering. They were downtrodden and beaten and literally ruled by hyenas. But a hyena cannot rule a lion for long. This could only happen if the lion does not know who he is. If you could keep him ignorant forever, then you got him. But as soon as one of them wakes up to the fact that he is a lion and that he hates eating bugs and that he likes meat, and when he realizes that he's a lion and although he does not prefer it, a lion will eat a hyena if he has to. All he has to do is share this knowledge that he has with all the other lions, and it's over. No hyena has ever had any business fucking with any lion, much less an entire pride. Hyenas used to respect us back in the days because they know we'd eat their ass. Now, to get to the point of what I'm saying and wrap this shit up, to start an honest revolution and rebuild our world at the same time starts and ends within. Only you could manifest your individual will. Only I can manifest mine. Together, we could manifest what we could cooperatively call our will. You know what I'm saying? It does not matter what everyone else is doing. You have to be willing to stand alone for what you believe in. You have to become the #1 champion of your cause and become the change you want to be, you want to see. I have so many enemies now, and I'm finally getting my first taste of what it's like to be a public figure. So many people are coming out against me, and guess what? I like it. They heard that I'm a hothead, and they played the hand that they held against me the wrong way. Now, I got them right where I want them, and they know it. I'm suing everybody, and you should never underestimate your opponent. I'm going through legal action. I'm winning through legal action, not through argument. Let's see how long you guys could play this game while making me fabulously wealthy in the process. You should see what the media is saying about me. People are afraid to associate with me in any way, shape, or form. People just think I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. I'm about 50 to 100 years ahead of my time in philosophy. More ahead of my time in philosophy than the average Joe. But it wasn't always that way. I worked hard to get here. I study a lot. But now I'm here, and people hate me for it. But what could I do but learn from it and use that hatred to make me stronger? For those of you that do hate me, I have one really sincere message for you. Thank you for the hatred from the bottom of my heart. It makes me see better. For those of you that think that they want to see me in any realm, I'm not running from you. Come see me. I'm right here. You know what I'm saying? Right here in the VI. In fact, certain of you won't have to worry about coming to see me because I'm going to come see you. In other words, get ready for a fight. Because this Simba right here, this Simba is not only coming back for his pride, but his dignity and his respect. And a lot of you do not like that. But let me say this in response to that. Yeah, I know I'm cocky as fuck, and a lot of you do not like that. But let me say this in response to that. I'm here to set a new standard for the attitude toward rebellion, and I have to be this way. I'm here to show the average man how to be a real man, because to me, a lot of them just do not know, so I gotta show them. What you might not have considered so far is that you need more motherfuckers like me. So stop hating and get your head out of your ass and get your head in the game and do something to make this world a better place. That is all for today. This has been yet another example of how to start an honest revolution and rebuild our world at the same time. This is General Fear None Everlasting, and this has been another General Fear None Everlasting production. And until next time, and as always, right on to the real and death to the fakers. Justify your existence or die like a punk. 1. Say a little short Frederick Douglass speech. Let me give you a word of the philosophy of reform. The whole history of the progress of human liberty shows us that all concessions yet made to her august claim have been born out of earnest struggle. The conflict has been exciting, agitating, all-absorbing, and for the time being, putting all other tumults to silence. It must do this or it does nothing. Without struggle, there is no progress. Those who profess to favor freedom and yet deprecate agitation are men who want crops without plowing up the ground. They want rain without thunder and lightning. They want the ocean without the awful roar of her many waters. Now, this her struggle may be a physical one. May be a moral one. It may be both moral and struggle, but it must be a struggle. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never has and it never will. Find out exactly. Wait, I'm screwing up a little bit, but find out exactly what a man will tolerate, and you have just discovered the exact level of injustice that will be levied upon him, and this will continue until it is resisted with either words or with blows or with both. The limits of tyrants are prescribed by the endurance of those whom they oppress. And in the light of these words, Negroes will be hunted in the North. They will be held and flogged in the South, so long as they submit to these outrages and make no resistance, either moral or physical. And this is my favorite revolutionary figure, Mr. Frederick Douglass, in his August 1857 West India Emancipation speech. Yo, you better check me for this, man. If you want some real revolution, you want change around here, man, this is the way to do it. You know, roll with your boy Fear None. You know, and you ain't got to roll with me physically, but just listen to what I say and check me if I'm wrong, confront me if I'm wrong, so you can help build me up too. You know, after all, my philosophies are advancing along the way, but I have the courage to share who I am and express who I am and confront those forces that need to be confronted. Right now, I'm having a battle with all the legislators, the Virgin Islands legislators, who unjustifiably attacked my character, the Chamber of Commerce, Historical Society, Hotel and Tourism Board, the Police Department, DPNR, Department of Licensing Consumer Affairs, the Lottery Commission, the India Association of the Virgin Islands. All these are some of the people, just a partial list of all the people that have come up against me. Media outlets like TV2, St. Croix Source, VI Daily News, they've all characterized me in an unfair light. And guess what? Everybody's about to get sued. I've been preparing cases since this shit happened a couple days ago. So in a few days, after I get all my filing fees together and whatever, I get all my videos and my evidence together, I'm going to proceed in my own skin at the Pro Se clinic over at the federal court, and just start suing motherfuckers. So they're going to help to make me become fabulously wealthy and help me to earn their respect at the same time. And that, my friends, is how you start an honest revolution and rebuild our world at the same time. I'm kind of put it to you like this. I'm coining a new phrase, and y'all motherfuckers could put it out there if you want to. Them Ferguson niggas is doing it wrong. You got to sue these cats. That's how you do it. All right, so you can put it out there if you want. One.